So this is my Kahoot that I made for my Create Your Own Adventure, and I think it's pretty freaking awesome and fun to play. Obviously, I couldn't have my students take it, so I um, ended up taking a screencast of myself playing it so that you guys get a little idea of what I made. I have 13 questions that are focused on the chemistry unit, behavior of gases. I designed this Kahoot as a in-class review to be played prior to the unit exam, um, and is a means to review some core concepts. The Kahoot is focused in the Minnesota Chemistry Standard 9C.2.1.4.2, and that's understanding the behavior of gas laws and um, how the relationship between temperature, pressure, volume, and the number of gas molecules sort of works and interacts. Like I said, I chose a Kahoot as my Create Your Own Adventure because when I was in school, I wasn't really a big fan of reviewing materials that I've already covered, but I always seemed to enjoy doing so if it was a game or some sort of competition. Kahoot allows students to compete with each other and be proud of their knowledge, but at the same time doesn't single out anyone for not knowing something. Kahoot would also allow students to either take the quiz individually or collaborate with each other in small groups. I do think a couple of drawbacks of Kahoot are that each player requires an electronic device. Another drawback is that the short text limit on the questions and only up to 2-minute response time once the question is read. This really prevents the ability to ask longer questions and more in-depth questions that possibly require students to write out their work to get to a solution. Lastly, Kahoot really has to be used in class, and there's no ability for the students to take this sort of review at home at their own leisure. So that's definitely a drawback, but it's something you can work with. I did try to incorporate a picture or a short clip or a GIF with each question to sort of give students a hint or at least align their thinking with where it should be without giving them an answer. And I reason this as, one, it will kind of give students a visual clue, and two, if the students do require that visual clue, they probably won't get the question answered right away, so they won't get as many points as someone who doesn't need to rely on that visual clue. So I think that's a good little thing. And then next, I did actually have a student take the quiz, and the feedback they gave me was that the time limit was slightly too short. I originally had it at 20 seconds, and the student said that they couldn't fully read and understand the question and all the possible answers, so I extended the question time to 30 seconds. One thing I really do like about Kahoot is the ability to get instant feedback on a question. So right after you answer the question, I can see who in the class got it, or what percentage of the class got it right and what percentage of the class got it wrong. And that's really useful as a teacher to understand where my students' knowledge is at. It tells me what my students understand and what my students may need a little extra review with before the test. All in all, I think I'll definitely use Kahoot in my classroom as a quick, simple, and fun way to review content and assess my students' knowledge, and then also assess myself as a teacher and what content I was able to clearly communicate to my students. That's it for now. I look forward to your feedback.